had many home offices in my life, and for whatever reason, none of them ever felt right. Whether it was the layout of the room, the lighting, the furniture and decor that I had, the energy just always felt blocked. I would often find myself going to other spaces like a coffee shop in order to just lock in and get work done. Luckily, I get to start fresh all over again with my new home office, and this time I want to design the space with Feng Shui principles in mind. In traditional Chinese cultures, Feng Shui is very important for the home and the office and the living space and where you sleep because it directly impacts the flow of energy, which we call qi, wealth, abundance, all the typical Chinese superstition stuff. So to make this project more challenging, I have 3 rules that I'm going to stick to for furnishing my space. Number 1, this home decor project cannot break the bank. My budget is $2,000 Canadian. I know what you're thinking, $2,000 sounds like a lot, but for furniture nowadays, especially high quality furniture that lasts a long time, it's not cheap. Number 2, I have to really love every item that I am purchasing new, and I have to see longevity in it, meaning it has to be a piece that I can see myself using for a long period of time and a piece that is pretty versatile and can fit in any space in the future. And number 3, I have to incorporate as many of the Feng Shui principles as possible. And make sure you keep on watching to the end to see whether I stick within the budget and whether I can actually incorporate all the Feng Shui principles into this office. So there's 7 main principles of Feng Shui. The first one is qi, which is also known as energy. Qi is known as the life force that is flowing through the environment, through your body, through your surroundings. And the main principle of Feng Shui is to ensure that qi is flowing through the environment at all times and that it's not stuck, it's not chaotic, it's not blocked, it's not tense. So the second principle of Feng Shui is to balance all of the 5 elements. The 5 elements are wood, fire, metal, water, and earth. And each element carries a different vibe and represents a different quality. So for example, if you have wood pieces, it's all about growth, creativity. So if you have fire elements, it can be related to passion, drive, ambition. Earth elements are more about being stable, down to earth, grounding. Metal elements are more about clarity, knowledge, and precision. And water elements are about going with the flow, intuition. Too much or too little of each element can throw off your energy. And try to furnish my space with elements that complement my element as a person. So you can literally just use Google and find out your element, but I'm personally a water element, and this generally means that I do better with metal and wood type of decors and furnishings. The third Feng Shui principle is called a Bahua map. So the map has 9 sections. Sometimes it's shown as a square, sometimes it's shown as an octagon, and it's matched with one of the 5 elements, as well as colors, shapes, numbers. The fourth Feng Shui principle is yin and yang. Yin and yang is all about balance and harmony. Yin can be associated with being soft, passive, gentle, more dark and feminine, whereas yang is typically more associated with bright, fast, structured, masculine type of traits. Too much yin could mean that you feel sluggish, too much yang could mean that you feel too much anxiety. The fifth Feng Shui principle is all about the command position, and this is referring to where you sit in your office or where you sleep in your bed. The command position is about placing yourself in a space where you can see the door, which I'm technically not doing right now, but I'm gonna explain that a little bit later why. Or it can be associated with making sure that you have a solid wall behind your back, and the whole idea is that it boosts your sense of safety, security, and control. The sixth principle of Feng Shui is all about decluttering. Feng Shui doesn't like junk, doesn't like garbage, doesn't like hoarders, because clutter is associated with stagnant energy and just blocking the vibes. And last but not least, the seventh principle is that everything has to be intentionally placed. So this is the space that I'm starting with right now. As you can see, it is a typical millennial gray, cold room. One of the main limitations of this room is that because the sunlight is coming from here and I need to film content, this is the only direction I can face, even though my back is kind of towards the wall. So these are the items that I already do have and that I will be putting together in the space. And the reason why I put the IKEA shelf on the west facing wall is because this is great for creativity and children, because it's a combination of silver and soft metal elements. And then I also have a circle-ish lamp here, which also satisfies that requirement. And it also satisfies the northwest corner because it's all about helping people and travel. And I have these elements right here on the north and southwest area. And of course, I made a Pinterest board because I love visualizing spaces in order for me to kind of get my ideas and juices flowing. I didn't particularly search Feng Shui inspo. I more so looked at the design aspect of what I wanted. And then once I get the vibe of what style I want to go for, that's when I'm going to incorporate Feng Shui principles into the furniture that I choose, into how I place certain objects. I really like the school office kind of vibe, but almost looks like a wood shop or a journalist's office. I definitely didn't want it to look like a typical tech office because I've had a lot of those offices in the past and I was kind of getting tired of the standing desk vibe. I think overall the vibe that I'm getting is that these spaces feel very personal to the individual. I love how everything feels very clean and open, which is something that I definitely want to incorporate, but also very warm toned. I also love how personal this wall looks. It's a combination of wall art and a calendar and little trinkets. That's definitely something that I also want to incorporate as well. And this is the classic IKEA Anetri shelf, and this is what I ended up getting. So definitely using this as inspiration because I think this shelf just looks good in any space and can be elevated so easily. Okay, so you saw the shelf that I had in the beginning of this video already, but I wanted to give a little bit more detail about it. So I came across this shelf on Pinterest and I was going down a rabbit hole and I finally found out that it's a vintage IKEA Anetri shelf. And unfortunately, I could only find like 4 of them on Facebook Marketplace at the time, and half of them were in terrible condition or in a weird color that I did not want. I bit the bullet and I ended up spending $500 on a used IKEA shelf. Yeah, I know, it sounds crazy when I say it out loud, but I'm obsessed with it. And I don't even think it's real wood. That's the thing. I definitely think I can use it in the future because it's such a neutral style, neutral color. And I love that it does satisfy the wood and the metal component. Plus it fits a bunch of books and little trinkets that I have. And keeping the Feng Shui principles in mind, I'm really placing items on the shelf with intentionality. A lot of these trinkets and decor items are things that mean a lot to me or have some significant value in my life. And some of just my favorite books. Over the years, I've been collecting a lot of furniture, home design style books, a lot of philosophy, meditative Buddhism type of books, a lot of self-help stuff. As someone with a very logical brain, sometimes I struggle with activities like decorating a shelf because I'm trying to follow a process, but then I realize that there's really no process. You're supposed to just do it however you like. Keep on watching because I'm going to show you what the final shelf looks like, and I think it looks pretty good. I was debating for the longest time whether I actually wanted to do a standing desk or not because I've had a standing desk for many years and I just never used it. I feel like when I really have to get into deep work, I like sitting down, I like locking in that way. So I decided to not get a standing desk because I'm already pretty active, I work out and I do scheduled walks. I'm gonna be honest, I don't really like how standing desks look, especially because the vibe that I want for this home office is more creative, more industrial. This piece was a bit expensive. It was $700 plus tax. So again, these big pieces are definitely eating up the budget. I actually ended up changing the direction of the desk so that it is facing the door and it's now facing a command position. The wall behind it is very plain, as you can see. So I have some wall art coming in that I'm gonna frame. So that's pretty much done. I really like how I ended up organizing it, and my crazy ass ended up sorting these by height of the book, except for the very end. Those are my journals, but that one is not the right height, so I'm gonna adjust that one. I also have a bunch of crap on the floor that I am waiting for a cabinet to go in this other corner of the room. So right now, I don't like this. This is obviously not feng shui at all. And I can definitely feel the impact on my productivity and my energy as well, because when I come into this office, I'm just like, ugh, everything is all over the place. But I know this is just temporary, and shopping for furniture is always a long, long process. So can't wait till this is gone. Your office chair is also super important when it comes to feng shui because this is literally what holds you upright. And also from an ergonomic perspective, you want something that you can sit in there and lock in and get shit done. So I've always wanted an Herman Miller sale chair, but those things are like $1,500. And I don't know, I just don't feel like spending $1,500 right now. So I found one on Facebook Marketplace, but unfortunately the color was green. But actually, according to feng shui, a green chair is not bad at all. It actually symbolizes creativity and is great for someone who is entering new endeavors or for entrepreneurship and things like that. So I'm like, okay, whatever, let me try out this green chair, and it was super comfortable and I don't regret it. Maybe just the color, but other than that, it's a solid chair. So as you saw earlier, the wall behind my back is pretty blank, so I decided to add some wall art. Honestly, this took me forever because I have such a hard time deciding what aesthetic I want to go with. I feel like because I've already gone down the colorful-ish route, I kind of had to continue down that route. And also with feng shui, it's really important what type of artwork you are picking. You want to have things shown that you love, that represents you, or you want nature that is vibrant and is thriving. So you never want to have things that are sad, depressing, dark colored, or anything of that nature hanging on your wall. So for me, I went with some of my favorite things. I'm going to add my own film photos to the wall so that it spreads out more horizontally, because right now I think it's just very narrow. But I think for now, I'm pretty happy with what it looks like, and I can just slowly add to this wall. So I'm actually filming this now actually 3 months after the previous clip you just saw. It's because I kind of forgot about the footage, but now we're here. I wanted to wrap up this video and share what the home office looks like now. So let's get into it. Okay, I apologize for the wobbly videos. I had switched my camera using my Sony instead of my DJI, and it doesn't have auto stabilization. So first we'll start off with the desk. This is what it looks like now. I'm pretty happy with how clean it generally looks. There's nothing I can do about the cables. This is kind of my issue, is that because I put my desk in a command position, unfortunately the cables are gonna kind of have to dangle on the side, but I did get a cable management box to kind of keep things together. This is what the view is like from my desk, so I can see whoever's walking in. I'm facing my wall shelf, looking at all the things that I love on a day-to-day. I'm making sure that my table is clutter-free and really just keeping it minimal. Here I have a red rug that I just added for a little bit of that fire element. And I have a beautiful plant here, but obviously you got to make sure you take care of those plants and ensure it's thriving. In the corner, I also added a blue cabinet as a water element, and was more for practical purposes because I have so much stuff I need to fit in there, and I wanted it to be a certain height so I could put books and plants on top of it. So I went with that. And yes, here I'm trying to show you my foot riser, but my dog was kind of in the way and wouldn't let me show you. But this is just an ergonomic thing I added to the bottom of my feet because I am a little bit short. There's literally $20 on Amazon or something like that, but just a nice way for shorties to get some foot support throughout your workday. And this is what the final bookshelf looks like. I'm really happy with the warmth of it, the colors, the plant. It all looks really good. And then I also got a mini trampoline for the middle of my room, which is great for lymphatic drainage. I'm pretty happy with how everything turned out, but keep on watching because we are going to talk about how much I spent in total. I said that I was going to make a little challenge for myself where I had to satisfy 3 requirements.
Number 1, this home decor project cannot break the bank. Number 2, I have to really love every item that I am purchasing new, and I have to see longevity in it. And number 3, I have to incorporate as many of the Feng Shui principles as possible.
So let's see how well I did. So first is, did I spend under $2,000 to get this place all furnished? Let's do a calculation. First is the desk. It was $800. It was brand new, so definitely on the pricier side. The bookshelf was $500, which I definitely think I overpaid, but it's a vintage IKEA design that they don't make anymore, so I had no choice. The blue cabinet was $250. Plants, I spent about $200 because plants like this are not cheap, especially if they're big. The rug was $80. Lamps was around $50. The cable management box was $20. The chair was also pricey because it's Herman Miller, but it was secondhand, so it was $400, which is way cheaper than a brand new one. The foot riser was $20. The mini trampoline was $50. Little trinkets and things like that were around $50. So in total, I spent $2,450. Saying that out loud now, it actually is quite a lot of money. But to be honest, furniture nowadays is not cheap, especially if you are getting solid wood materials and things that you actually want to last. So is it worth it? Yes, I think so, because I'm going to be making money in this home office and being productive and spending a lot of time here. But yes, I think I probably could have paid less for the bookshelf and the Herman Miller chair, but I don't know. I sometimes hate negotiating with Facebook Marketplace people. It's just really annoying. The next thing is that I can only buy items that have longevity. I think for the most part, I did a pretty good job of this, especially with the table and the IKEA shelf. Those are items that are pretty versatile. The colors are very neutral and they would fit in any space in the future. But I do think that I kind of messed up with the color of the Herman Miller chair and then the blue cabinet. I think I can definitely use it in the future. It's just like very bright and very green, so I don't know if it really fits my dream aesthetic. But I also think that the colors of the floor really kind of kill the vibe, so it doesn't really matter. I worked with what I had in terms of the blue cabinet, but that piece I definitely think I don't really see myself using in the future, but I can see myself selling it, and it would probably sell for more or less the same price on Facebook Marketplace. So I'll give myself a 50% on that particular requirement. And then last but not least, did I satisfy as many Feng Shui principles as I could? So let's go through this. Number one is like the command position, which is the most important, which is where your desk is facing. But I'm so glad that I flipped it around and now I am facing the door, so I am in a command position. Even though it's more annoying from a cable management perspective, I think overall it actually opens up the space more and it just feels more like a home office and I don't have to worry about people creeping up on me while I'm working. Another Feng Shui principle that I satisfied is that I kept the place clutter-free. There's really nothing on the floor. There's not much on the desk unless it's a decoration or supposed to be there. I really tried to keep the place nice and tidy, the bookshelf organized as much as possible. So I think I did a pretty good job on making sure this place is clutter-free. Another Feng Shui principle is making sure that I place plants and objects and furniture in optimal directions. So for the most part, I think I did a pretty good job with the plants. I tried to place them in different corners where there was a spot or a nook that made sense, while also ensuring that it's getting enough light. My only concern is the trampoline in the middle of the room. According to Feng Shui, having something circular in the middle of the room is actually very positive because it symbolizes harmony, it symbolizes the heart of the room. It kind of blocks the section between the bookshelf and the desk a little bit, but unfortunately there isn't anywhere else that I can put the mini trampoline, so that spot will do for now. And it's actually really nice when I jump and I look outside the window. The last thing is making sure that you have furniture that complements your personality and your own element. I am a water sign, so I did try to purchase more wood and metal items, and that really helps with career stability, with prosperity and things like that. In terms of having a fire element, because for me, I'm already a pretty type A type of person, so I didn't want to overdo red or anything with a strong type of energy to it. The rug was also a little bit of pink, so that brings a little bit of fieriness to the room. And then in terms of water, because I'm already a water sign, I don't want to overdo the water. So I think the blue cabinet was a great way to just add a little accent piece and have a bit of that water energy. So overall, I'm pretty happy with how the home office has turned out. It definitely feels like a good reflection of me. There's a lot of personality shown through my books, my trinkets, and overall, I think it does help with productivity. It helps with my energy, and it does make me get excited to come to the office to work every day. So if you're interested in also making your space Feng Shui coded, whether it's your office, your bedroom, your living space, it's actually quite simple. There's two different ways that you can go about doing this. So number one, you can actually hire a Feng Shui master, Feng Shui specialist that will actually come to your house and tell you specifically very, very detailed nuances of things that you should put in different corners and types of paintings you should have. They get down to the really, really nitty-gritty detail. But this is not cheap, it's a service. But if you're on a budget, you can literally just do Feng Shui by yourself. If you go on Google, there's lots of great trusted articles about Feng Shui principles, and some of the things that I've mentioned in this video as well, you can incorporate into your own home. To me, Feng Shui is really just about understanding the space and the energy and your personality and just combining those things into a clean, open, and inviting room that makes you feel happy and makes you feel cozy or makes you feel whatever emotion you want to feel. I also think a lot of Feng Shui principles are kind of common sense, making sure the room is clutter-free. I mean, that's really common sense, right? It just so happens to be a Feng Shui principle as well. So yeah, that's pretty much my Feng Shui coded home office. Let me know what you guys think about this video. For my regular subscribers, I know you guys were probably like, oh, this is a very random video. I thought it was a fun video to do, and I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. Let me know in the comments if you plan on spicing up your place to make it Feng Shui coded as well. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.